Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Welcome to another segment of Coach Gurbani's a-sabad-a-day. This is the 50th Sabad from Asa, Rag Asa, and the composition is Mahalla Tija. And this is a verse of 5 stanzas, Panchpade. The recitation. Sabad Marai, this is Sada Anand, Satguru Peta Gur Gobind, Na fir mare na ave jaye, Pure gur te sach samay, Jinhe ko naam likhya tur lekh, Te andin naam sada te aave, Gur pure te bhagat visekh, जिनको हर प्रभ लय मिलाए तिन्हें की गहन गत कही न जाए पूरे सतगुर दित्ती वडियाई उत्तम पदवी हर नाम समाई जो किछ करे सो आपे आप एक घड़ी में थाप उथाप कह कहना आँख सुनाए जे सौ काले थाए न पाए जिनके पोते पुन तिन्हा गुरु मिलाए सच वाणी गुर शब्द सुनाए जहाँ शब्द वसाए तहाँ दुख जाए ज्ञान रतन साचे सहज सुभाए नामै जेवड़ होर धन नाही कोय जिसनो बख्शे साचा सोय पूरे शब्द मन वसाए नानक नाम रते सुख पाए. The process of self-actualization is captured in this passage. So if we look at the Rahau, which is the contemplative, the reflection of the entire Shabad, it says, Jinko naam likhya tur lekh. They who recognize the primal writ of hukam through the agency of Naam, because it is only through the agency of Naam, self-knowledge, that you can recognize hukam in your life. So the Guru says they who recognize this writ through the agency of Naam, te anandin naam sada te aave, gur pure te bhagat vise. Their minds are attuned to the Creator. Te andin naam sada te aave. But he adds that this special state of self-awareness comes through devotion and love for Gur wisdom. Gur pure te bhagat visekh. Visekh means special. So there's something special about this state, this elevated state. So the interaction between Naam and the mind and its realization leading to self-actualization is the theme around this Shabad. So let's go back to the top. Sabad Marai, this is Sada Anand. One who dies or surrenders the ego to the Sabad Marai, finds eternal bliss. This Sada Anand. Satgur Pete Gur Gobind. Satgur Pete. Pete is to touch. So through recourse to the Satgur, knowledge of the Gobind self is attained. Now here, the self is being qualified by a proper name called Gobind. Sometimes Gurbani qualifies the self with the name, sometimes it doesn't. Mostly it does it with Har. So through recourse to the Satgur Pete, Gur, Gobind, knowledge of Gobind is attained. Gur is knowledge. Na fir mare na aave jaye. What happens when knowledge of the Gobind self is attained through the Gur? Na fir mare na aave jaye. Then the illusion of birth and death is broken. So you see, there is a connection between the ego and the idea of birth and death. It is the ego that goes through this illusion. So the Guru here is reminding us that there really is no such thing as birth and death. It is an illusion that troubles the ego. That is why he's saying Sabad Marai, one who dies, one who surrenders the ego to the Sabad, finds eternal bliss, because the illusion of birth and death is lifted, it is broken. And when you think about it, birth and death is what troubles us the most. But all of this, he says, comes through the flawless instruction of the Satgur. Pure Gurte Sach Samay. The truth, this truth is apprehended only through the Satgur. So what happens is interaction with the Satgur, Pete, decenters and deconditions the mind, the Haume, the conditioned mind. In other words, Haume dies to the world, to the attachments, to the rat race, and awakens to the self within. That's what happens. And once it recognizes its true nature, the mind is freed from the illusion of birthing and dying, because then it finds resonance with Sabad, which is the source of bliss. So that's how this cycle works. Jinko har prablay milay. They who are guided by the wisdom of the self, tinki gehen gat kahi na jaye. The majestic state of their mind cannot be described, because the mind is now expanded. Its horizons have grown. It's realizing its power. Pure Satguru Ditti Vadiyai. That's a gift from the Satguru, the true enlightener, the gift of self-knowledge, of Naam. Uttama Padvi Har Naam Samai. They attain the supreme state of consciousness. In other words, they become godlike. So the Satgur is the source of the wisdom that we need, and it is the greatest of gifts. And the mind that receives it attains to that supreme seat of consciousness. In other words, it realizes its creative potency, which is splendid beyond words. Jo kish kare sa ape aap. Now, the Guru is pointing to the Creator. The Supreme Self does what it wills. Ek ghadi mein thapiyu thap. In a flash, it creates, it can create, and in an instant, it can destroy. Keh keh kehna aakh sunai, jaiso kale thai na pai. So here the Guru is saying that with articulate speech, keh keh kehna, we may make our formulations of reality and then speak about them, but all of our conceptualizations cannot capture the truth. Jeso kale thai na pai. So discursive knowledge or reasoning cannot capture the workings of the Creator. We need Naam for that. And we will see that it is specialized knowledge. Jinke pote pun tina guru milai. So they who attain this supreme state, in other words, they whose minds have been fashioned by divine virtues, jinke pote pun, they become like the divine. Tinha guru milai. Guru milai. Here the Guru is the Shabad Guru. Sach bani gur sabad sunai. So it is the articulation of the enlightener Guru's speech. It echoes the Shabad Guru. Jahan Shabad vase, tahan dukh jaye. Where the Shabad prevails, where this wisdom prevails, all obstructions give way to satisfaction and fulfillment. Tahan dukh jaye. Dukh means a sense of dissatisfaction. Without this added dimension of Guru wisdom, nothing in life is completely satisfactory. One can find momentary satisfaction, but not lasting satisfaction because things keep changing. So you need the added dimension of wisdom, because once you have that wisdom, then any outcome is okay. So the jewel of knowledge is self-knowledge or naam. Gyan ratan sache sahaj samay. So Gyan ratan, the jewel of all knowledge, is self-knowledge. And it is through self-knowledge that you acquire a state of sahaj, equanimity, equipoise, balance, naturalness. So becoming like the divine implies that such a mind, because it is in resonance with hukam, can actually look into eternity. That is what is meant by becoming like the divine. Now, note that the Shabad, the word Shabad or Sabad, has a dual connotation here. It is being used as Sabad, as an embodiment, as a unit of language, as well as Shabad Guru, which is the vibratory and audible stream of life that runs through each one of us as a current, which is omnipresent, the unembodied creator. So this is a continuum of understanding. We begin with a unit of language, Gurbani, which is in a language, in speech. Its utterance then gradually causes us to reason and understand what we are reading. And from that reasoning, we begin to realize that we have to go beyond reasoning, and that transforms into self-awareness. Name jevad hor tan nahi koi. No riches in the world can compare to the wealth of divine qualities. Jisno bakshe sacha soi. They who are so blessed become again like the divine. Sacha soi. Through love of the self, one's mind becomes attuned to hukam. Pure sabad man vasai. Nanak naam ratte sukh paaye. So name in this context pertains to divine virtues, which stem from naam, self-knowledge. So this whole process is to go from rational knowledge to intuitive awareness to self-knowledge to self-actualization. On that note, Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.